You're welcome. In this video, I will be solving the question I gave. So I said we have MnO4 minus plus Fe2 plus yielding Mn2 plus Fe3 plus. This is obviously a redox reaction, okay? And for us to balance a redox reaction like this in acidic medium, we know we have a number of steps, okay? So I will not be going over the steps again because I've explained it in the previous video. So I'm going to be applying it one by one. So let's move on to step 1. For my step 1, I have to identify and write out the oxidation half equation and the reduction half equation. So for me to do that, I need to know the oxidation number of each of the atoms in these ions, okay? Now I have manganese. For me to get the oxidation number of manganese, I can represent manganese with X. Then I'll add it to what? I have 4 atoms of oxygen. 4 atoms of oxygen, so that will be 4 into the oxidation number of oxygen is always -2 except in peroxides, and this is obviously not a peroxide. So I will have my -2 equal to the net charge is -1, which is this, okay? So I will have X plus times minus is minus. 4 times 2 is what? 8 is equal to -1. So I'm going to have X is equal to -1. This goes to the other side to become what? +8. Then X is going to be what? +7. So that implies that the oxidation number of manganese is going to be what? +7. So I have +7. And our oxygen is always -2. So I have a -2. This is what? +2, +2, and +3. So, by visual inspection, we will see that the oxidation number of manganese has decreased to 2 here. Look at 7 to what? To 2. While we have increase in oxidation number for iron. Okay? So that increase in oxidation number is simply what? Oxidation. While decrease in oxidation number is reduction. So, my step 1. I want to write out the oxidation half equation and the reduction half equation. So I'm going to have MnO4 minus yielding Mn2 plus. So this is going to be my what? Reduction half equation. While Fe2 plus yielding Fe3 plus is going to be my what? Oxidation half equation. So I'm done with step 1. Step 2. For my step 2, all I have to do is to what? Balance the atoms except those of hydrogen and oxygen. And if we look at this, I have an atom of manganese, an atom of manganese, not the ions now, just the atoms. An atom of manganese, an atom of manganese. Oxygen, the instruction is that I should not balance the atoms of oxygen. So that means I'm done with what? The first equation. And then for the second equation, I have 1 atom of manganese and 1 atom of iron, then another atom of iron, just 1, 1. So that implies that this is also what? Balanced. So that means for my step 2, I'm done. I'm automatically done with step 2 because I do not have anything to do. So I'm going to move on. So that implies that this can still represent my step what? Step 2. So let me move on to step 3. For my step 3, what I will do is that I will look at the side that is deficient of oxygen. Then I'm going to bring in water molecule. So for this first equation, I have oxygen on the left hand side. I do not have oxygen on the right hand side. That means that this side is deficient of oxygen. That is, it does not have oxygen atoms. So for me to make it have oxygen atoms, I'm going to introduce water molecule, okay? So I have MnO4 minus yielding Mn2 plus I'm going to introduce water molecule. Now, how many molecules of water do I need? That is going to be known by whatever I have here. I have 4 oxygen atoms. That implies that I should have 4 oxygen atoms on the other side. So I will have 4 molecules of water. So that at the end of the day, I will have what? 4 atoms of oxygen. So with this, I'm done with that. That's step 3. I cannot apply that step 3 to this side because I do not have oxygen on any of the sides. So there wouldn't be any need for me to bring in water molecule. So the next thing now is step 4. step 4. For my step 4, what I will do is to look at this side, the left hand side. As a result of the addition of water molecule, I have a new atom, which is what? I have a new atom which is hydrogen. So for me to be able to balance that, I will add hydrogen ion on the what? Left hand side, okay? So I have MnO4 minus plus hydrogen ion yielding Mn2 plus 4H2O. But this is not balanced, okay? Manganese has one atom. 4 atoms of oxygen, 4 atoms of oxygen. But I have 8 atoms of hydrogen, so that implies that I'm going to have 8 here. So with this equation is what? Balanced in terms of the number of what? Atoms, not the charges. Now, the next thing is to move on to my step 5. Because that step 4, again, cannot be applied to this other equation. So I'll move on to step 5. For my step 5, what I have to do in step 5 is simply to balance the charges. I've been able to balance the atoms, so I'm going to what? Balance the charges. How do I balance the charges? Let me start with this very equation, okay? I have, let me write my step 5 here to make it clearer. For my step 5, okay? I have minus 1. I have minus 1 here, so I have a charge of minus 1 plus 8. So that is what? 8. So minus 1 plus 8 is what? Plus 7. So I have a net charge of plus 7 on the left hand side. While on the right hand side, I have a charge of what? Plus 2. Then plus, this does not have a net charge, so it's going to be 0. 2 plus 0 is what? Plus 2. So that implies that I have a net charge of plus 7 on the left hand side, a net charge of plus 2 on the right hand side, okay? For me to balance this off, all I have to do is bring in electrons. And I know that electrons are negatively charged, okay? So if I bring in 5 negative charges to this side, it will decrease this plus 7 to what? Plus 2. So that implies that I'm going to add what? 5 electrons to the left hand side. So I will have MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5E minus, yielding Mn2 plus 4H2O. So the implication of this is, now minus 1 plus 8 is going to give me what? Plus 7. Okay? Now 7 minus 5 is going to give me 2, while I have 2 on the what? Right hand side. So I'm done with that. Okay? Now for the next one, I have this equation. I have Fe2 plus yielding Fe3 plus. Don't forget that I have neglected this right from my step 1 because I cannot, according to the instructions, there is nothing I can do with the equation. But now I can work with the equation because I have to balance the charges. For me to balance the charges here, I have a net charge of plus 2 on this side, a net charge of plus 3 on this side. So this has got more charges, so I need to decrease it so as to make it what? Have an equal value with plus 2. And electrons are negatively charged. All I need is just what? 1 electron, minus 1. 3 minus 1 is going to give me 2. So I have Fe2 plus yielding Fe3 plus E minus. Okay? So I'm going to write that here. Fe2 plus Fe3 plus and E minus. So this is my step 5. So I've been able to balance the atoms and the charges. So what I'm going to do now is to sum up the equation so as to have my what? Net equation in acidic medium. Now I have so I'm going to sum up what I have on the left hand side. It will be on the left hand side. Whatever I have on the right hand side will be on the right hand side. So I have MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5E minus plus Fe2 plus. Let me start from here. I have MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5E minus plus Fe2 plus, yielding Mn2 plus 4H2O plus Fe3 plus E minus. All what I have here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The equation, what I have on the left hand side, on the left hand side. What I have on the right hand side, now on the right hand side. So I have to look at this. I have 5 electrons, and I have okay, I'm supposed to multiply. Yes, I will multiply. I need to have the same number of electrons for the first equation and the second equation. So this is what I'm going to have. By visual inspection, I have 5 electrons and I have 1 electron. So I will multiply these by 1. While I will multiply these by what? By 5. So as to have the same number of what? Electrons, so that it can cancel out. 1 multiplied by all of these, I'm still going to have the same thing, which is MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5E minus, yielding Mn2 plus 4H2. 5 is going to multiply this, I will have 5 Fe2 plus, yielding 5 Fe3 plus, then 5 E minus. Okay? The electrons can easily cancel this out. Then I'm going to write this on the left hand side as MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5 Fe2 plus, yielding Mn2 plus 4H2O plus 5 Fe3 plus. So this is the balanced equation in acidic medium. So I need to confirm if this is correct, because I know that my number of the atoms and the charges have to be balanced. The atoms have to be balanced, the charges have to be balanced. So let's start with the number of atoms. I have manganese, I have oxygen, I have hydrogen, and iron. On the left hand side, I have a manganese, oxygen, hydrogen, and what? And iron. Now, manganese, I have an atom of manganese here, just 1. For oxygen, I have 4. For hydrogen, I have 8 atoms. Then for iron, I have 5 atoms. For the right hand side, I have 1 atom of manganese, oxygen, 4 atoms of oxygen, then hydrogen 2 times 4, I have 8. Then my iron, I have 5. So that implies that the atoms are what? Balanced. So the next thing is to move on to the charges. For the charges, I have on the left hand side, I have -1 plus 8 plus, I have 5 atoms of Fe2 plus. So that's going to be 2 times 5. So that's 10. Then on this left hand side, I have +2 plus 0, no next charge. Then plus 3 times 5, I'm going to have what? 15. So -1 plus 8, that's 7. 7 plus 10 is what? 17. 2 plus 15 is what? 17. So the atoms are balanced and the charges are also what? Balanced. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. We'll meet in the next video. And do not forget to subscribe.